We have just spoken to Matt from ABG and Stuart from Screen. As I mentioned just before, we have been at CERM's booth for an hour now and seen really interesting presentation from a British label converter called Mercian. And I'm here with, are you the CEO or?
Managing Director.
Managing Director, but nevertheless we are here with Adrian from Mercian. Adrian, as I said to you before, I'm so jealous because you are doing exactly what everybody in the industry have been thinking about for years, right?
Probably what people have wished somebody would do beforehand,
yeah.
And it is one of those, it's in the too difficult box, I would say, of many challenges in the labelling industry, but we sort of said at some point we're going to go and try and tackle this, and hopefully we've done a good job of it. I'm very proud of the work we've done so far.
I can imagine. And just to bridge it a little bit, basically you are a label converter. Can you talk a little bit about what do you do and how many people work for you? What kind of technology do you have?
Okay, so we're a single site, 65-person business based in Staffordshire in the UK. We've grown via acquisition and through organic growth. I'd say that Mercian has a reputation for doing short-run digital labelling, and we've been a Zycon user since 2006, and then now we are a Screen user with some Zycon and also Flexo as well. So we got our foot very firmly in the two camps. In terms of the profile of business that we do, we've got some specialist products that we export, so Label Lock, which is a tamper-evident specialist product, and Gammatex, which is a medical irradiation smart label. But really, I would say the bulk of what we do is that mix of variable data, e-cigarette, food, drinks, beverage, sort of normal things that you would see within labelling. So digital, Flexo combined. For us, I think I need to be very conscious about where we put our effort, and that's into becoming a world-class manufacturer of labels. That's our vision, becoming a world-class manufacturer, and that's where we put this effort in the past 3 years. Fantastic. Towards this project.
Fantastic. I can't help think about that, when you talk about being a supplier of short runs of digital, right? Some of the mega trends in the industry is obviously personalization, it's a short run, it's a private label, it's all the things that actually make it, if you are not automating your flow of through your printing company, it will take an immense time, money, and probably be very difficult to make money on. Is that something that resonates with you? I mean, if you look at pre everything we're going to talk about in a second.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you don't do the right things.
Yeah, I think you got to accept that in a commercial marketplace, everybody has exactly the same challenge. That's the challenges of shorter runs, quicker lead times, more productive, more productivity in terms of getting your cost base right, quality aspirations for customers. So all of those things are the same, and we all have pretty much the same technology platform that you can take and use. But there is a real elephant in the room for me, and that's the ability to take complicated, digitally printed, and we all know how much digital's taking over the world. I'm a Flexo guy as well, so I don't believe in the end of Flexo at all, but the rise of digital keeps on going, apace.
Just watch it this show. Right?
Just look at the V12 here, yeah, for sure. So, at 120 meters a minute, the sort of launch speed is, that's a lot of digital labels to convert. And where we only see that problem compounding. The bottleneck in our production in Mercian before this project, and probably still today as we're going through the ramping up, but it's diminishing very quickly and our lead times are falling, and that's great news for customers, great news for our on-time in full delivery. So that's very consistent with our vision.
And I take that also, when you achieve those objectives, that gives you a tremendous competitive edge, right?
Yeah, it does, and I think bringing the Screen UV inkjet technology into this project, and they've been a great collaborative partner for sure. They're very technically sophisticated. They understand the benefits of workflow and of automation, and they really see, just like Matt Burton at ABG sees, the real benefits of if you integrate and automate, then you get a lot more work through, you become more competitive, more profitable, your performance to customers works. It's all those things about world-class manufacturing, and Screen have got it, ABG have got it, and we're putting those things together into live commercial jobs now, and that's a really good productive platform. I'd probably say, certainly in the markets that we operate, I can't see a more competitive way of of manufacturing labels than doing a lot of the automated pre-press with CERM and the pre-flight stuff that we're doing. Then you're doing an auto plan, you're digitally printing that at a really good cost-effective product with a screen UV inkjet, and then you're automated finishing that in a non-stop turreting environment, so that your finished roll is coming inspected, it's got your full traceability, it's already booked into stock, straight into the box and away. We think that's the way forward for the vast majority of label stock, for sure.
Sounds right to me as well. I was just thinking that sometimes you can always, what drives innovation? And everybody says it's driven by customer demand. And that is, of course, the case here, but did you just go to CERM, ABG, and screen and said, I just want lights out production?
I certainly went with that term for lights out production to ABG back in 2016 originally, I think they sort of got it. Yeah, we're still friends, and there's a lot of water underneath the bridge, and a lot of those things are not just let's build something bespoke for Mercian. There's been a much wider conversation here about what's going to be right for the industry, because the protocols and the effort that we've taken and built in, we know that other people are going to come and use that. ABG will sell it, Screen will sell it, and the integrations will take it and happen. I think for us, we think we're ahead of that curve, leading that curve, I would say, and we will see the commercial benefits that in the next period of time. But crucially, we've got a platform we can build some of that next stage for Mercian Labels vision and build it on top of that. That gives us some advantage. There's also a lot of culture here that we didn't really sort of talk about in the presentation today. But when you're doing world-class manufacturing, you've got to have those no-blame cultures. You've got to have continuous improvement. You've got to accept that things will not go right, and you need to fix them in a root cause analysis, plan, do, check, act.
Yeah, and that's kind of the agile development that you need to accept.
Yeah, it is, and that's in software and that sort of technology stack of I've got APC and that's all we have as IT now, right the way through to the people attending your customer complaint meetings and reviews and going through where things haven't gone right. Those are your semi-software developers, because they can do the root cause fix in software, in the workflow, and that's a permanent fix and the thing doesn't come back again. And that's what we've seen so far. Really
one of the things that I can't remember who, I think it was maybe Geert that asked you in the presentation, and I found it quite interesting because looking at the next step, because sometimes when you have started these innovation development tours or whatever path where you go, you end up in a situation that you can never stop, because new solutions feed new problems and new solutions feed new things, right?
But that's what makes the job really interesting. It's not an end. It's not a journey,
it's not an
sure.
end. But the reason why I was just having this bridge was basically because you said that, as far as I remember, you said there was something about some lifting capabilities and some really analog process about feeding machines with sleeves, feeding machines. So you basically have something that needs to be automated, that is not just a matter of printing a barcode. It's not just a matter of bringing data between two computers. It is actually, I was just about to say heavy lifting, right?
Yeah, so I think we've probably broken the back of 90+% of their automated converting. Have we got to lights out manufacturing today? The answer is no. There are two processes that...
It's only every second light that's out now.
Yeah.
But that's for energy saving purposes, right?
Well, I probably should get to some conversation about, for every roll of labels, how many times do we stop the web? Yeah. And that would be a really quite an interesting conversation, but I haven't done that, but thanks for the suggestion. We currently have to stop the web every time we want to change a die, and laser isn't right for us. There's a bunch of limitations with laser. It's great for certain marketplaces and applications. It's not right for us. So you have to stop the web, and then it's a question of normal manufacturing process, single minute exchange of die, SMED. How quick can you change the tooling and get the thing back in production again? And we've definitely got that into low single digits. So that's really good. And then core handling, cutting cores and delivering them on demand.
As well, right? Yeah.
Do you know what? I'll put a bounty on that. If any of your readers, watchers who come up with a solution for how to do that, right? Come and reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation. I'll play a bounty for anybody who can solve that problem for me. Yeah.
Fantastic. On the screen during the presentation, there was a quite amazing slide where you could see how much time you use before and how much time you use now. All the time that is freed up, I mean, what would you use it for?
Well, I think
that was considerably, right?
Yeah, one of those conversations over a couple of beers that I've had with ABG is, what would I ideally
Did you
like?
drink beers with Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, sorry, I couldn't help.
One of those conversations was, well, what does a perfect converting solution look like? And to me, it's one that operates at the speed of light and does nothing for 99.69% of its time.
Because everything is automated, fault-free.
It's automated, it's fault-free, and it's extremely quick.
Yeah.
And what we need in our marketplace, where your lead time is really very important, when you get really busy, and it's a very spiky marketplace, you need to be able to do it incredibly quick. And it's not a marketplace where you can plan your production schedule for the next 14 days. That sort of works in long run flexo. In this digital marketplace,
but here it's like,
you don't have that.
It's like you get the order, you deliver, right?
And if you have the ability to take on all of the orders that you can possibly take and deliver them in really quick lead times, commercially that's a massive advantage. And when you're running non-stop turreting of digital like that, then you can take a large percentage off. You're not talking about knocking 10 or 20% off, a really large percentage off your finishing time. You remove that bottleneck, and then you come down to what's the bottleneck. I think for us, when we get to stage that the screen is the bottleneck for us, I'll probably achieve that vision, because we're putting combinations of high volume variable barcoding label, flexo work, and digital work off the screen and the Zycon through that ABG platform. So.
Last question, and it's maybe a little bit controversial, because I know that when you're a fast mover, and I guess that you probably invested a lot of money in this project, and I know that you most likely have an idea that it will be profitable at some time. Can you see that profitability already now with the investment you have done, or is it something that you have to be patient on having a longer perspective on?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, we've worked, had this idea since 2016. We worked on a project since 2019, and we've invested an awful lot of time, effort, sweat, and money. Yeah. Have we recovered all of that today? No, we haven't. No, for sure. But will we, in terms of what we've seen so far, and the more cost-effective nature and the competitiveness, as in the manufacturing cost price compared to your sales price to customer, absolutely, it's a winner. You look at your sales team; they're giving those quotes and their lead times and the margins to customers. Customers are really happy. We're really happy. It's much more satisfying to run. Just makes a happier business all round. So been a really successful project. Now it's in fully commercial, and the stuff going out the door every day from that ABG. Really proud of it. Really proud. Plenty more to go. Awesome. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you very much.